Debt limit talks broke up late Friday at the U.S. Capitol shortly after resuming, another sudden turn of events in negotiations to avoid a potentially catastrophic government default that had come to an abrupt standstill earlier in the day when Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said it's time to pause negotiations, and the White House acknowledged there are serious differences. President Joe Biden's administration is reaching for a deal with Republicans led by McCarthy as the nation faces a deadline as soon as June 1 to raise the country's borrowing limit, now at $31 trillion, to keep paying the nation's bills and avoid a default that would send shockwaves through the global economy. Republicans are insisting on steep spending cuts, while Biden's team has tried to limit their impact. Top Republican negotiators for McCarthy said after the evening session that they were uncertain on next steps. But the White House publicly expressed optimism that a resolution could be reached if parties negotiated in good faith. "We re-engaged, had a very, very candid discussion, talking about where we are, talking about where things need to be, what's reasonably acceptable," said Representative Garrett Graves, Republican Louisiana, a top McCarthy ally leading the talks for his side. Another Republican negotiator, Representative Patrick McHenry of North Carolina, said they would be briefing McCarthy on the latest developments. Asked if he was confident an agreement over budget issues could be reached with the White House, McHenry said, "No." As the White House team left the nighttime session, counselor to the president Steve Ricchetti, who is leading talks for the Democrats, said he was hopeful. "We're going to keep working," he said. The president, who has been in Japan attending the Group of Seven summit, had no immediate public comment, but Press Secretary Jean-Pierre said he was being continually updated on the discussions in Washington. Jean-Pierre said Biden was still optimistic that a deal could be reached to avert default, but acknowledged, "There's no question we have serious differences." Biden had already planned to cut short the rest of his trip and he is expected to return to Washington Sunday night. The White House has refused to publicly discuss the sticking points between the two sides, though Jean-Pierre insisted that Biden believed he was not negotiating on raising the borrowing limit, despite the clear linkage in talks between securing a budget deal and raising the debt ceiling. Do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all new updates.